If you're anything like me, you probably have a box of ETB sleeves hidden somewhere. A lot of them feature some really nice artworks, but the quality always feels really low. But is it really that bad? I realized I never really gave these sleeves a chance. And if you're watching this video, you probably haven't either. So let's do an experiment and see if the ETB sleeves are really that bad. So in order to measure the quality of the sleeves, we're gonna need a control. There's a ton of different options when it comes to sleeves, but one stood out more than the rest. That, of course, Dragon Shield. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna run a couple of tests and see how they measure up to the gold standard of sleeves and see if they're really that bad. Because honestly, I feel like we just never gave them a chance. So first of all, let's talk about the quality. We're gonna be using a ETB sleeves from Paldea Evolved, and as our control, we're gonna be using Dragon Shields, matte purple. So we're gonna pull one out here. Feels pretty all right. Let's try to see the strength of it. Oh, it ripped pretty easily. Let me try one more to see if that was a fluke or if it just rips that easy. So don't be so hard on these sleeves if you're gonna use them. So let's see how it feels to sleeve a card in. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but it has a bit of a matte finish. But if you have something like the Iono sleeves, which come in that milk carton product, those are actually glossy. Now there is one thing noteworthy about the ETB sleeves is that sometimes when I'm putting the card in, it feels a little tight sliding it in. I have had a situation where I put the card into the ETB sleeve, and as I'm pushing it in, I almost like bent it down like this, but I find that it's not with all of the sleeves, so there might be a little bit of inconsistency in the quality of the sleeves. So really just be careful when you're putting the cards in, and if you feel like the sleeves are a little tight, it could be like a bad batch. Now let's pull out a Dragon Shield sleeve. So this one is glossy in the front. Let's see the ripping here. So also rips pretty easily on one side. Let's try to sleeve it in. Now I definitely felt like the card slid in a lot easier on the Dragon Shield sleeve. The card in here, in the Dragon Shield, definitely feels a little thicker. The thickness of the sleeve is definitely there. And moving on the mat basically feels the same, honestly. I don't feel much difference when it comes to how it feels on the mat. This was a really close one, but because of the fact that the ETB sleeves were a little tight and I accidentally hurt my cards in the past sleeving them, I'm gonna have to give this one a Dragon Shields. So if you practice good binder behavior, you sleeve all of your cards before you put them in your binder. We're gonna sleeve a couple of cards and we're gonna put them in the binder and see how they feel when they're sleeved in a Dragon Shield versus sleeved in a ETB sleeve. So I finished sleeving 4 cards in the Dragon Shield sleeves, and I sleeved 4 in the ETB sleeves. And I sleeved 2 in the matte ones and 2 on the glossy ones, just in case those feel any different. So we're gonna go right into the binder here. That slid in pretty good. Let's try this one. ETB sleeve fit right in, honestly. And the Dragon Shield. So honestly, when it comes to sleeving the cards into the binder, I didn't really feel much of a difference. Now, one thing is that if you're very OCD and you like all of the card backs to be the same, if you have a mix of random ETB sleeves and you start kind of mixing them in the binder, they will look different. You can see the Iono ones had like a black back on the side. You can see it's black here, but when you go to the Iron Thorns, you can see the gray. So that's one thing if that bothers you, because you could just buy like a case of purple Dragon Shield and then all of your cards would be the same. But honestly, when you look at it from a distance, it's really not that big of a difference for me. But in terms of like putting the cards in to the binder, it felt fine. Both ETBs and the Dragon Shield sleeves felt exactly the same. So I'm gonna give a tie to this one. So now we're gonna move into the next section, which is shuffling. So for those of you that actually like playing the game, shuffling is probably something you care about. Sometimes when sleeves are not great, they stick together, they don't shuffle well. Let's see how these sleeves do. So here we have 2 decks, one sleeved in the Dragon Shields. This is the Lost Box Giratina. And over here, we have the Festival Lead deck. But yeah, these are sleeves that I've played with for a while. So I've been examining them for a few weeks now. These are not fresh. In order to be able to give a good review, I felt like I needed to have played with the sleeves for a bit. So personally, Dragon Shields I love because they shuffle very well. I'm very rough with my sleeves and they are very high quality and they do not rip. That's one thing that I really like about the Dragon Shield sleeves. Now with the Elite Trainer sleeves, one thing that I notice is that when I'm sticking the cards in for the shuffle, it's a little rougher. It feels like they're kind of sticking together a little bit. It's not like a big difference. I don't want you to think like, oh, the sleeve, the shuffling feels awful. But with the Dragon Shields, they really do just kind of go in. There's no strong friction when sticking the cards in. Now, granted, different people shuffle in different ways. In terms of the riffle shuffle, they don't really riffle well, and I think what's happening is that because they kind of stick, sometimes it's hard to really get them to split evenly. So when you do the riffle here, it doesn't go well. If you're really big on shuffling, I think it's something that you need to feel for yourself. You definitely want to put them into your hands, shuffle them, and see if they're good for you. If it's something that you're okay with, definitely go with it. Personally, I don't know if I could go like a big tournament shuffling these ETB sleeves. So I'm going to give the clear winner here to be Dragon Shield in this section. The next section that we'll talk about is price and value. So on most websites, Dragon Shields are going for about $12, give or take. Some places will give it to you for 10, 11. That's the average range of the Dragon Shield sleeves. And the ETB sleeves are free. You get 100 in a pack of Dragon Shield, and you get 65 in an ETB pack, which is a perfect amount because you have your 60 cards for your deck, and then you have 5 extra cards in case you rip a sleeve or you need to switch one out. Dragon Shield, you have the 60, then you have an extra 40, which for Pokemon in particular is not that relevant from a gameplay standpoint, but for a collecting standpoint, 100 sleeves is 100 sleeves. So yeah, I mean, in terms of value, I think ETB is gonna win this section because it's literally just free. All right, so the next section that we're gonna talk about is the appearance of the sleeves. Dragon Shield comes in many, many different colors. I mean, they come in blue, purple, red, black, white, any color that you can possibly imagine, they have it available. They also have these new dual matte sleeves, which are actually like black on one side or, you know, green in the other, and you can mix and match them, which is fantastic. Dragon Shields also allows you to have custom artwork on your sleeve if you order it online, and they've partnered with certain companies to make sleeves with designs on the back. Pokemon ETB sleeves also come in all sorts of variety. They have a design on the back, which is Pokemon related. This is one of the things that's interesting about Pokemon. So for my non-players out there, if you wanted to get into Pokemon playing, and let's say you have a pack of sleeves that you really, really like and you thought were really, really cool, and they're not officially licensed by Pokemon, you can't use them. I don't know why that rule came into existence. So whether that's, you know, from the Pokemon Center, if you bought them in an ETB, or one of the, you know, sleeves from Japan, those are basically all the sleeves that you can use. Other than that, you have to use a solid color sleeve, and that's it. So if you wanted to play with sleeves that were basically not just single colored, you gotta go with the ETB here. Next thing we'll talk about is durability. Dragon Shield sleeves last forever. You'll have the occasional time where you'll be like shuffling your deck and maybe you'll, you know, pierce one of the sleeves, but even that doesn't really happen too often. And you can see the corners of the cards are pretty good. And I do a lot of riffling. So you think that that would ruin these corners or from, you know, stabbing the cards in like this, but you can see that on the Dragon Shield sleeves, it's not really happening. ETB sleeves, you can see that they're starting to bend a little bit. These are probably a little lower quality, but like I said, I've been playing with these for a couple of weeks, and they haven't really broken either. It's really close, but because of the fact that the ETB sleeves wore out a little bit, I'm gonna have to give it to Dragon Shields. All right, so to wrap things up, are the ETBs really that bad? Not really. After running them through multiple tests, I don't really think that they're that bad. They shuffled pretty decently, they fit pretty well around the card, they slid into the binder really well, I don't feel that they were breaking too quickly, and they're free. Now granted, I do think that the Dragon Shields are a little better. I think they shuffle a little better. I think they fit around the card a little looser. But other than those two little things, which may not really bother you too much, I actually think it's fine. You should definitely give them a chance. If you have one lying around, put some cards in the sleeves, shuffle them around a little bit, play a couple of games and see that really you could have potentially been saving a lot of money. But let me know what you think of the ETB sleeves in the comment section down below, because I tested it with my friend Gabe and we both kind of came to the same consensus that it wasn't that bad. So anyway, that wraps up the video. I hope this video was helpful for you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna have a ton more Pokemon content coming up for you, so you don't wanna miss it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.